lineup. Players hit the dirt. No way you can do that. Cuban, you should know. These shots are coming through. They're going to see you immediately. Maybe he thought the smoke cover was there. The answering nade is pretty good, though. And Hydro will get knocked. Now it's just Keo on the off angle, and his cover's moving away from him. Jelly's knocked on the flip side as well. On the swivel, hits the deck, stays alive, looks for the flush as well, and Soez goes down too. Now it's just up the kite safe for DRX on the approach. Can't stand up. There's Hart, there's Keo, and they handle DRX on the approach. Held their nerve in the face of it. Hydro goes down, but DRX are taken out. Regnum Kaya look at a rise above. Be free and clear in that first place spot.
Yeah, I mean, for Regnum Kaya, after this game, they're playing it slow now, and absolutely fair for them to do that. They know that right now, for them, it's 16 more points and they're done. There isn't massive prize pool difference between first and third place, but getting over towards 150 points off the back of this game, they've basically finished by match 2. So I think for Regnum Kaya, for them, all that matters is just getting a late placing in this game. For True Rippers, though, taking down second spots, big news for them. Very, very big news for them. They did hold a lot of angles there, so it was slightly easier, but still, they held their own. For DRX, it's slightly more unfortunate at 123 points, but again, they're getting very close. They're also getting very close to finishing out that day.
It felt like a little bit of mistiming there by DRX with Hyunbin going for the lie down. He should have known that that angle was completely visible. The smoke blooms just a moment after he went for that play as well. So I wonder if that was what was happening there. Unfortunate for DRX losing that one out, but really good stuff, as you say. 4 True Rippers, very, very happy with that fight for them. A little bit messy in the middle of it, but they kept things together. Not sure what Harsh is doing still back there, but their options were very limited. We're on board now with the Burmese ghouls over towards the river, and actually Virtus Pro doing a lot of work against them. Blank looks like they've got the counter spell coming on through. Your necromancy might be coming to an end on this game.
Oh, don't count them out yet. It's just still playing down towards the low ground, and the nades could be good. That one looks fairly on target. It's a lot of damage done. Needs a bit more chip on that side of things. Aragon is very lucky. He will get 70% of his HP back. I think the nade should be running dry soon. What the hell? Burmese ghouls still have some back in pocket. I mean, Ichi's still got one more. DBS now pulled out for maximum effect.
Ooh, a lot of damage from Virtus Pro's nades. Godspeed has to dodge the bullets and be effective with his own. Ichi lines them up, but Virtus Pro answer. And in a 4v2, that's not the sort of trade you can go for. They get the flushes, and that is the Burmese ghouls down. But Alliance have the lineup. They are 2-2 split right now, and they've watched all of this unfold. Aragon to fall, and there's a lot of damage sidling its way on over to the Virtus Pro camp. They're looking for the reses, looking to keep this one going, but Cluck wants to stop it, wants to stop these reses. Looks like they're not going to have too much luck, though. And the fold back might need to come through.
Yeah, I think for Alliance, they did as much as they needed to do there, which was to move up, finish off that fight, hurt Virtus Pro a little bit, and then move back down again. Hero does go out as Alliance are able to hold on. This is probably the best Alliance game we've seen in quite some time now of the 7 elims so far, with a really controlling presence. I talked about this earlier, John, that ridge down towards the southeast side that currently we're seeing Alliance play around. Very valuable, but requires Circle to come down here. It in fact did. So now Alliance can get a good game off this. Basically, they just need to hold on to that angle, looking over towards Virtus Pro as they slowly move their way down. But for quite a while, that's going to be the only threat to them for quite some time. So I think for Alliance, this game can be played out pretty carefully towards the season side.
We're on this eastern side. You say Alliance just keeping Virtus Pro on their toes. A lot of damage being poured on through this open hillside is not their friend. And it looks like, yeah, Arc Red are going to chime in from that northern side. They've spotted blood in the water blooming around Virtus Pro, and they are like sharks to it immediately. Glory 22, he's not even stopping on the hillside. He's like, okay, I wonder what's going on here. More like piranhas, maybe, because they just feast upon Virtus Pro, not even worrying about Alliance across the way. Somehow Voston does go down to it, but they do manage to clean it out. And I think at this point, Arc Red, they've done their job. They now actually have a decent amount of control with this flex out.
Yeah, pushing down this side was pretty good from them. And I mean, Alliance were slightly more preoccupied with Virtus Pro, and it means that with Arcred being able to get towards this spot with no knocks going their way, yeah, they actually are able to get a lot done from this spot. Jimmy on a wide off angle, trying to find some of these players coming through from Arcred. Jelly also getting towards an end game as a solo. Quite important for at least ETSH and True Rippers here. For Boars, I am kind of worried for them. This is like the first time we've seen them in a proper end game. But they are in 12th place, John. It's further than I expected them to go.
All right, well, fantastic stuff. I mean, it's further than I expected from them. I mean, I'm not going to back down from the comments I made about Boars at the start of this group, right? They are a team that I'm really not expecting a lot from here. So to make it to last chance would be a massive victory in my book for the squad to be able to keep things going. And right now, they are on that cusp. And with a good game here, as you say, they could be jumping up to join that top 11 spot, push Twisted Minds out of things. But they do have to convert here. With 6 elims, they're a little bit on the outside, and they've got Regnum Kari to worry about on that south edge, with Silas already stepping his way into the zone.
I mean, Silas moving down towards the south side. Alliance are really preoccupied with Arcred, so they even spot this push. Finally, Olio is able to look over this way. But for Regnum Kari, they've got to deal with Boars as well. That was ambitious. Very, very ambitious coming through from Regnum Kari.
Yeah, that's a bit of a mad regroup there, but again, as you said, most of their day and most of their group is pretty much under the belt. It's tucked away and secure. They do want to go further, but they've already managed to ladder up and get a fourth. I was about to say third place, but that was actually Silas who went down just there and get a fourth place. So pretty decent stuff, getting 4 points. What was it, 5 elims as well? So a total of 9 on the match. That's pretty much done and dusted. They're very happy with that. Even after a mad regroup, the Boars starting to suffer on the hillside. They are now down to just one player, Exo, remaining, and he's not going to be getting Havlik back up.
This is a big game now, though, for Alliance. If they win this game, it sees them safe, right? At least going through the last chance. It'll push them quite far up the leaderboard towards the middle, and it'll be a lot of other teams battling out for those last chance spots. So I think for Alliance, it's a really big game for them. Unfortunately, we've seen this team really mess up a lot of end games in the past. And it could happen again here, especially with this circle, which shifts hard over towards Arcred's position. Luckily, Alliance is already sending out, getting quite a bit of work done. Good shots from Jimmy with the AUG, and Olio will finish off the other. Just Havlik now left alive. 12 elims for Alliance. This is looking to be a very big game for them, and they are desperate to follow through on this.
Absolutely, but against Arcred on the circle right now, Arcred have got the terrain, they've got the circle edge under control, and Alliance have yet to put a foot in. Look at the high ground for Glory. He's going to have angles over to Jimmy, towards Olio. It is a really difficult push here. It's going to rely on the gun skill for Alliance, and to be fair, that's something we've seen from them, Blank. They have been competent in those fights. But it's all important now, as you say, looking to try and secure their spot. It was a 3-way 98-point tiebreaker on the bubble back in Group Green. It was a little bit higher than we were expecting it to be as well, but for Alliance, I don't think they're going to be able to make it up towards 98 points this match, but they can get damn close.
And to be honest, although Alliance hasn't been explosive in terms of performance, they've still been putting up consistent points throughout all 2 days. And even today, shots over towards Easy for Bad Boy, but no knock found, which is the big deal here. Glory also is always a worrying aspect. He has some of the slickest off angles we've seen so far from any team, and he could really be a thorn in the side. Currently, the algorithm's giving it by 0.10% over towards Arcred.
But it is going back and forth. I mean, it's getting closer by the second. Oh, Cluck not going down there is huge news. Glory desperately wants that nade to find it. So much needed, and he will be able to connect. Cluck going down there is disastrous. Holding that position would have been brilliant. That's why I was so excited for them. to be able to stay up and alive there, because it's unlikely you can go for that res and immediately Arcred pounce. They're moving around. The Piranhas of the lobby moving through, and it's all coming crashing down for Alliance. Immediately 2 more knocks found, and it is not to be denied. The Piranhas swarm, and if the last to stand against them looks to try and find one, get a point on board, but from the high ground, it's shut down. It is Arcred.
Alliance just cannot play endgames. It's sad to say, but it is the damn truth. They cannot play an endgame to save their lives. Closing games out is just not a possibility. For Arcred, this does push them quite far up the tables, though. And I'd be excited to see what the desk have to say about it, because I wasn't quite following exactly how far they were going up the tables there, but I do think that it puts them in striking distance, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still a good game for Alliance, right? On that match, they were able to earn a lot of points and get deeper into the middle of the tables, which is where you want to be for those last chance prospects. For Arcred as well, see where that ends up sitting them. It's getting nice and close still around that 3rd place bubble, but really, at this point, it seems like maybe only one position is malleable in those top 3, with DRX, with Rek and Kaya starting to lock down those top 2.
Yeah, DRX position is pretty solid. I think it's the only one that you could really take a pickaxe to. For Rek and Kaya, it is impossible to catch them up now. But some of the other teams, they are still absolutely pushing for that 3rd place.
Arcred's back were against the wall. They needed to win this match if they wanted any shot of making it to the grand finals. And boy, do they do it right towards the end here. Alliance put up some serious points as well. What a way to start off Airgale, Max.
What a perfect setup to every single team around Alliance and Arcred in the leaderboards. Hot Jukes just taken out relatively early this match, which just opens up a huge opportunity for these teams. And you know what? They strike while the iron is hot. What a great game, and perfectly timed to Niptra to see coming out from both Alliance and Arcred. And Arcred in particular creating a little bit of a man advantage. And guess what? The moment they have that 4v3 scenario, full send to make sure that chicken dinner is not going to slip between your fingers.
An open mic. They definitely need to have an open mic. That would be fantastic. For goodness sake. No, I think it's really, really nice what they did here. They had, like you said, the perfect setup with all the teams around them going out. And we were talking about it before this game, right? That this team, both of these teams in the top 2, Alliance and Arcred, they needed to get a win here and now in this game if they wanted any sort of chance of moving forward in a different position at the end of the day. So really happy that both these teams were able to do just that, Max.
Yeah, sorry for laughing at your muted mic.
No, it's fine. It's fair. It's fair.
But no, Alliance, I'm very excited. I think that you in particular, Niptra, are going to want to break down their map rotation for Alliance, because they had some very interesting setups for them to be able to get to the late game. So we'll go a bit deeper in that at some point in time. Let's get ready for some highlights. And man, the mid-game stage had so many crashes. Hodgix, I think we're finally at that point where teams are like, okay, we got to do something. We need to go for these big plays, and the crashes are beautiful.
Oh, I can't tell you how excited I was for this match just watching it, because I was like, it's about dang time. And everything worked out so perfectly for Arcred, Alliance in particular, because we got, towards that end game, 2nd through 6th place were out early, right? Regnum Karya, if they get points, it's pretty inconsequential at this point. We know they're going, right? So for that 3rd spot, this was the perfect scenario for Arcred.
I mean, True Ripper's also in this one. Look at that, winning a big fight versus the likes of DRX. And I'm not sure if it was intentional or not. I think they were trying to maybe bait DRX towards the wall so they could actually shoot their feet under that wall and actually create a little bit of a man advantage. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but if it was intentional, a big brain play here coming out from True Rippers as Virtus Pro getting a bit humiliated in that position. If you're a good approach, but the off angle just decimated the entire squad.
Yeah, they got off-angled to smithereens, I think is really appropriate to say here. And it was unfortunate. They tried to do something with it, but again, we're just not seeing that confidence in their plays. We're not seeing that full sweep that we need to see, especially in that zone. But we are going to go over to these team rotations. I love this graphic so much. And you can see here that the Boars and Alliance, both of those teams had to go into the zone, right? The biggest rotations coming in from them. But you see here Alliance, look at that spread over Garden, right? Really controlling that south side, making sure teams can't really cross that bridge until Alliance have had their share of it, right? Until they're done with it. But they move across the bridge, taking advantage of the fights that were happening on the north side, right? Taking advantage of those fights to actually move in, not to get elims, but just to move their own position forward. So you see them make that full rotation across the bridge. And then here is what I love to see. This next zone shift, you see two go over towards VP's position, controlling that area. Arcred do the same thing, to be honest, and well played there, right? But I just love how we are seeing Alliance really being able to move around there, and 20 points is going to be their reward for that.
I mean, the setup player for Alliance was Jimmy. He was going next to the riverside, and he was making sure that he had an angle on both Virtus Pro, and after that it was Arcred, and he was really stopping a full-on clash from happening in the first place. So really, if we had to go for one MVP, maybe not stats-wise here, Hot Jukes, but at least positionally speaking, it would have to be Jimmy, because, oh my goodness, that guy was a godsend for Alliance.
Dude, Jimmy's been going nuts all day today. Even in Rondo, right towards the end, we saw him putting up some serious points. So this is a huge charge from Alliance. I'm just saying, if somehow, some way, this squad, Neptura, is able to make it into the top 3, it will be the comeback of the century, like without a doubt.
Oh, it has to be, right? Because it's the final day. It's you're down in the middle, in the mid bit, right? In the middle bit of the lobby, and then you come in with all those points. I mean, this is exactly the springboard they need to make that, Max. But that would be such a storyline. I would love that.
Sorry, I'm a little bit cringy because Flash got 0 points.
Yup.
I don't like seeing Flash getting 0 points. They might be slipping out of the top 3 after that performance. Here we go, though. Arcade Glory gonna be our glorious MVP for this match, with a total of 3 eliminations. But yeah, the negative, Team Flash losing steam, losing momentum, that confidence, that presence in the late game scenarios is just not there for the squad. Win might have to rename to losing, because right now he's not taking the dubs.
Let's take a look at the leaderboards here, and oh my goodness, that third place position is now looking scarier than ever. Arc Red are not that far away, only 6 points away now. Flash just haven't been able to put up anything here. And now, I mean, even Alliance, they go from 11th all the way to 8th, Max. This is getting crazy.
I mean, they're lucky that the arena only got 1 point, is what I'm going to say for Team Flash. They got a little bit lucky in that scenario. But yeah, looking at that, Arcred able to jump up, finally escaping these middle ranks and able to slowly begin the ascent. Here, just behind Weibo, 3 points away. Arcred, they could pull a go. They could be the surprise factor, Niptura, and just snatch away a final slot literally in the last few matches of day 3.
I mean, I'm really scared for Flash. When you think about, we have 4 matches left. I mean, Arcred starting this momentum so early on in the day, so decisively as well. Like, it wasn't just the zone was handed to them or anything like that. Yeah, they held the compound for a long time, but as soon as they had to push, they pushed. They pushed in style. They had the big split over the rest of the circle. They were moving for that control. They were trying to move other teams around as well. So for Arcred, there's a lot of mentality there that I see in them, that it's like they are confident in that push. And so this game is very scary for Flash.
Also strong performance from Alliance, as we already said, right? Able to jump up 2 ranks from 10th position up to 8th. And Boars escaping the red zone at the bottom of the rankings. Boars definitely going to be over the moon about this performance. So really, really happy with them. Havlik actually being a top performer. We know this guy's an absolute OG in his region. And Havlik kinda, we know, can bring some big numbers on any kind of stage, especially the global stage. As Olio, though, sneaky angle right, Neptura, able to get that huge spray from like, what, 150 meters, 200 meters under the buggy. That was insane accuracy from this player.
Yeah, insane clutch indeed, and that's going to contribute to one of his 5 eliminations coming into this game. And you talk about, you know, how we were saying, I think yesterday it was, that a 2.5 average elimination is insane, right? we don't talk enough about how insane it is to get a 5 elim game for one player. Like, especially in that zone where you're looking at a lot of other teams as full squads trying to get all the sneaky angles. And so for Olio, for Jimmy, to get 4 eliminations is pretty crazy. Like, there's a lot that's going on there. You got to be real quick with those peaks as well. Yeah. Like, some really, really good skill coming in from these players.
I'm sure Sakura from E-Arena is like, yeah, but I got 11, so like, you know, you're bad. Me, Sakura.
Sakura, you had a mountain. Come on now.
Yeah. What a crazy game. You guys want to hear some crazy stats?
Yes.
Let's do it. Yes, please.
All right. So at the start of the day here, Alliance, they were in 11th place. All right. In order for them to make it to 3rd, that was a 49-point difference. Okay. A mountain to climb. After these first 2 games, they have closed that gap down to 23 with 4 matches left to go. It is possible, folks. And the only reason why this is even possible is because in the first 2 matches, Flash have only gained 1 single point. So,
oh no.
Yeah, that lead that they had, it is gone at this point. It's do or die. They have to perform here. There are now so many squads that are a huge threat here in Neptura.
Oh no, that is really troubling to hear, because I feel like if any team deserves to be in that top 3, it's got to be Flash, right? Because they've been so consistent over 2 days. They've come in with a massive day 1 and then we're consistent day 2, but for day 3, for them to fall off day 3 would be so heartbreaking for them, Jukes.
Man, this is getting crazy. I'm so excited. I mean, DRX too. DRX need to start making a little bit of movement because they've only gained a handful of points as well. I mean, I'm looking at the numbers right here. Prior to today, they were sitting, you know, nice and comfortable with a good amount of points. But in this last match, they only got 3. So they're out of 123. They still have that point gap. But that's for this match. If for some reason DRX can't put up anything and you see EA, Weibo, Arc, Flash get a good chicken dinner here, it could get mighty close, Max Man. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that happen to Team Flash, right? It could definitely happen to DRX too if they get a little bit too comfortable. They're resting on their laurels. You know what? They could be slipping. Out of top 3 seems a bit unreasonable, but I've seen worse, unfortunately, Hot Jukes. So there's definitely a possibility for DRX to slip down if they do not bring some points back on board. But it's really good for the middle of the rankings, right? I love seeing all these top teams get eliminated, not because I don't like them, because I love a good comeback story. And you know what? Right now, Alliance, Arcred, they're doing just that.
They really are, yeah. And I want to go very quickly back to DRX, right? We saw what Regnum were doing. I mean, Regnum are pretty safe right now. Oh, no, please don't do that. Please just be resting your head. Don't look. No, please. We need you to do well. Come on.
That's right.
No, but I think for Regnum, they know they're pretty safe, right? And we saw in that last game, they got to top 5. They waited until they were in top 5 and then tried to make some moves, but weren't super pressed about getting as many points as possible. I think DRX need to aim to do the same thing, right? Just make sure they get a consistent top 5 finish, just get enough points to keep ahead. And I think if they take a page out of Regnum's book, they'll be just fine.
Oof, that's hard to do, man. Regnum are going crazy today. I mean, they're so comfortable. They're putting up points no matter what. Even that last push just looked like a heat check from them, to be honest. Like, it looked like one of those situations where, like, we got this. Let's just push, see what happens. We can afford it, right? So they still put up 9, so they're locked down. I mean, I doubt it. I still think DRX are a lock because we know what they could do. There's still a lot of matches left to go, but it is a little concerning when you see a team jump up so much, right? Like, they need to perform. They need to put something up for sure here.
If they pull an alter ego, which if you guys don't know what that means a 5-point game on day 3 of Group Green, then they could slip. And that's after I made a video on alter ego, and I did make a video on DRX. So again, I won't. I got some interesting messages, but no, they're fine. I'm just memeing. They're gonna be okay. But no, going back onto your point, Regnum Kara, right? They're looking really, really comfortable. I don't know if you guys would agree, but they just look to me like they're playing, and the way they're playing is effortless. They're just, it's our game. It's such a good way to play the game that even a PMGC lobby just crumbles at the sheer thought of playing against us. And right now, Regnum Kara, they're just cruising. I'm telling you, this is the easiest performance I've seen them do so far. Regnum, they're big chilling.
Yeah, I think honestly, they're just sitting so comfortable now.
Yeah, they are, and it's all down to them slowing down. We said it yesterday, right? They just slowed down their pace a little bit because they weren't doing too well. I mean, let's remember day one, they were struggling big time here. But then second day they went, oh, what we need to do is just play slowly, and they were able to just flip the switch just like that. So today I think they've really found their mojo. They've really found what they need to do, and Max, they're looking so good for this next game.
We had the APG prank. That was the Regnum prank, and it's done now. The prank's over.
It's done. It's done. Well, here we go into match number 3, Arigale. Which team is going to make that rise like we just saw from Alliance? Maybe Burmese Ghouls, Blake? It's time for them to arise.
Whoa. He's stealing your bit there, Blank. That can't be right. That can't be right. We'll have to talk to someone about that one. That's not on. We'll head into this game though with that setting of it being so close around the third place bubble, because that is what teams are going to be paying attention to.
Yeah, I mean, for Burmese Ghouls, they need to rise again here in this game if they want to get something done. I am a little bit concerned though, and my necromancy powers aren't quite coming through. Help them out too much here at the moment, but again, there's definitely much more important teams that I'm invested in at the moment. I think for Regnum Kaya, we can probably stop talking about them altogether at this point in time, John, considering they are currently in first place, and with the amount of points they've been able to get, and I think Erangel is just such a strong map for them overall anyway, it's likely that they should be able to get through towards top 3 now with no problem at all. We're looking at DRX to finish out the race, finish the job, and our third place team to make themselves known.
That is the question, isn't it? Right, DRX are primed, the princes of the lobby right now, to jump up into that second place. They could take first place away from Regnum Kaya. Oh, goodness me. But this is where you want to try and test for a third place team. We are going Millie off a north plane path as well, which means nobody is dropping there and will start there early on. It's about moving fast. It's about moving now. For our teams looking to try and control those points around the bubbles, it's all or nothing, and to the skies they go. This might actually work for... No, it's not. They're all the way up near Severdi, up near shooting range for nuclear zone. That is a long flight.
It is a very, very long flight to go for, unfortunately for them. But we'll see how they make it happen. We have no teams in Sosnovka, John, which is crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. So see if teams can get there quick enough. For Virtus Pro, I imagine it's a swift descent towards the south side of Mills Power and pick yourself up a boat or so and get through to Novo, which is free. Twisted Minds, though, Chudo does get knocked by Havlik as they attempted to make that early cross.
Getting across early. I mean, that is the name of the game, right? No quarter given either. Judo in the middle of the road gets run down. That is nasty news around a bubble place team, and actually 2 of the bubble place teams going very early into the scrap. Good news for Boars, though. They're up into the top 11, Blank, in that 11th place right now, with 67 points earned, added to their tally. They are far from safe, but it is good to see. Twisted Minds not so happy with this one.
No, it's a rough start. It's a rough start. Max is saying this is a ghoul circle. Technically, if they were here, but it's going to take a while for them to get down. Currently sat over towards Watertown at the moment. But they'll get a move on, I imagine, eventually. Twisted Minds do end up over towards Millie base. It's a central area, but playing as 3, I believe. Sometimes you can get caught off guard here with like a small sliver of HP, but I am curious.
Yeah. I think Twisted Minds are actually split. I don't know how. I think only one of them is in Millie base right now. The rest are still on this northern shore, north of DRX, who are now trying to cross this western bridge. Boars set up a roadblock. They want to try and farm this one. This is the position that we saw Regnum Kaya do incredibly well from in that previous military circle that we had. They won't be there this time, though, Blank. Boars are trying to take up that mantle, but it's probably more profitable generally to be going further inland, right? Get in and across fast and see what you can find. Silas grabbing a jet ski and actually just going to head straight on over the water. Not going to wait for his teammates. They are already, it looks like they're already swimming.
Yeah, getting across nice and early.
The hovercraft.
Making no pauses there. I mean, from the small dinghy into a hovercraft is quite the upgrade, John, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I imagine they spotted it across the water. He jetted out, and now he's going to be able to pick up the rest of his team. And you're right, those hovercrafts, really powerful for these crossings. We've seen them develop moving forwards. Another team going for the crossing right now. It's Alliance. We're going to be heading on with Jimmy with an interview as well. 7WG was able to catch up with them after their match. They're in 8th place, 85 points. Let's see what they had to say.
Welcome to a quick report with the 7WG. I'm joined by Jimmy from Alliance. They just put up a great performance. Let me just break it down real quick. Day 1, you put up 39 points. Day 2, you put up 19 points. This match, you were able to put up more points than you did in Day 2. What happened in Day 2?
Okay, kalau kita tengok hari pertama korang dapat 39, hari kedua 19 dan hari ketiga ni baru beberapa game poin korang lebih banyak daripada semalam. So boleh ceritakan tak apa yang terjadi pada hari kedua semalam?
Apa yang terjadi, mungkin kita orang terburu-buru lah untuk pergi ke dalam circle and ambil decision fight, and itu saja. Mungkin saya buat keputusan yang terburu-buru, and hari ni kita orang dah reset dah.
Yeah, I mean, I think as a IGL, I make a lot of like rush decision, like such an example, like we too rush to get into the circle, and I think that's one of the problems that we encountered in the day 2. But yeah, as usual, we already reset, and yeah, we're just gonna focus on today.
Okay, well, the reset definitely helped out. You're currently 19 points away from 11th. Now you got a cushion sitting in 8th place. What are you looking to do for the rest matches today to make sure you stay within the top 11 or maybe push to top 3?
Okay, sekarang kalau diikutkan cuma 19 poin berbeza dengan nombor 11 dan sekarang korang adalah sedikit gap yang boleh dikatakan seronok jugalah. Sekarang korang dekat top 8. So apa plan korang? Adakah korang nak maintain ataupun mungkin aim untuk top 3 ataupun just duduk dalam kalangan top 11 tu?
Untuk sebenarnya untuk main goals kita orang nak top 3 and kita orang masih ada lagi 4 match. So nothing impossible. So kita orang nak top 3 and kita orang will do it much more better untuk this day untuk kita orang dapatkan top 3.
Okay, of course. I mean, the aim is still top 3. I mean, there's still 4 games, and I think it's achievable. And I'm very confident that we're gonna try to climb to the top. And yeah, we're just gonna do much better. According to me.
I like the reset. I like the confidence. Terima kasih, and also Salamat Hari Jadi, Melvin. Back to you all. Let's see what Malaysia can do today.
All right, keep that confidence going. Keep that power trucking. See what they can do for Alliance's side for Malaysia. The Twisted Minds, they did manage to get Lord across, and the Boars are trying to hunt him down, do even more damage to them. Lord around the generators now, trying to stay alive, and does have a first aid, so can't get back to health. Lord pulling the pin on an aid as well. I don't think Snowix is aware of this one either. We'll spot it now as he's just tippling out. Yeah, reposition there is good. Snowix puts the pin back in his own nade, and Lord will be allowed to heal, but he just doesn't have his teammates with him blank. The other two, they're still on that northern shore.
Well, let's just bring it back a little bit. Right now, Lord has currently been in a 1v4 and has effectively finished out the 1v3. Now there's only Snowix to deal with. So Lord has actually made a play of a lifetime right here in Millibase without the rest of his team. So yeah, I think this is insanely cool coming through from Twisted Minds, or at least Lord. And this would be an insane anchor point for the rest of the team to regroup on.
The shift goes over to Millibase as well, and you're right, if they can get there, it might be pretty profitable, but we'll have to wait and see, because Snowix is still alive, and I think they're looking to disengage from one another. Lord doesn't want to bite off more than he can chew, but he has been plenty violent on the inside there against the Boars, and I mean, we missed a lot of it behind that interview, but able to stand tall and actually take back that 11th place spot from the Boars, who took it from them on a neck-and-neck tiebreaker right now on 67 points. There is a back-and-forth conversation to be had, but you can't count the teams beneath them out either. Virtus.pro and True Rippers both wanting to jump up there as well. I'm paying a lot of attention now to this east side bridge. As we're on board with Team Flash, there's about 4 or 5 teams now looking to cross here.
Flash waiting, looking over towards ETSH. Flash still holding on to third place at the moment, 109. Arena far out in the blue, currently still trying to push in towards the circle. They're around hospital at the moment, so it's a long journey. Same for Weibo, but Weibo's just coming out from the blue now, around shelter. None of these shots hitting for the Flash over towards ETSH, which does make their cross now a little bit more difficult, though they are assisted by Arcred, who are hand in hand right now with the Flash.
Well, for the time being, at least. Looking to try and keep things going against ETSH, and both of them, Arcred and Team Flash, looking for that third place spot. Both teams competing for that area of the table. ETSH very much not. They'd be happy with anything really at this stage, and we'll see what they can find. And for a little bit of a run across, this is the last player, I believe, for ETSH to actually regroup and might be able to get away with this. Twisted Minds do regroup as we hop back over to the military base. Snowix on his own, no recall beacons here in Erangel, and Twisted Minds with 3 actually making it through in a way that maybe nobody expected.
I mean, for Twisted Minds, it is a crazy performance from them. I mean, all down to Lord, personally. In that 1v3, the fact he's able to hold off the boars is just a monumental task. But well done to him. Those Pro did make their way down towards that south side. Arcred, one player goes down to the play zone here on the outside, but mostly to the bullets coming through from the Flash.
Yeah, that's going to be the major damage dealer here in stage 2. And this is good news as well for Team Flash, again, defending their spot on the tables. It's just unfortunate. There are so many teams who are looking to try and push up towards them. Fortunately, though, a lot of them actually also stuck in this traffic jam blank. We've got Arena, who can't even see on the map right now. A big south shift on this circle as well, by the way, keeps that south coast in. Yeah, Team Flash, Arena, Weibo, Arcred, all trapped in the traffic jam from the northern side. So maybe for Arcred, this is really good, or Team Flash, this is really good if they're able to control this east bridge.
Yeah, it's going both ways right now. Both teams kind of concerned with getting across here. Weibo are off in the distance, currently taking some good shots though, and getting some points on board for their troubles somehow, some way. It's very, very packed in over on this eastern side. Very hard south shift down towards Sosnovka too. So VP feeling quite confident with the way that one pans out. Alliance looking to do more, as they said in their interview, and see themselves a little bit safer towards that top side. Currently 85 points. You know, it's not out of the world of possibility right now to still get into top 3 if you're a team like Alliance on 85, but it will be a difficult run for them. And as we know, they don't really have that staying power towards the end of the games, and I think you need that if you want to make that final push at the end of the day. Geeke, it is a wild run out, and it goes terribly.
Yeah, they are not going to go too much further, and the points split apart as Twisted Minds. Oh, they have Regnum Kaya to deal with now, and that's a little bit taller of an order than going up against the Boars. If you are able to go for a 1v4, but Lord does want to finish the job and will be able to do it. A technical 1v4 here going through from Twisted Minds as Lord is able to get that final elim on the last Boars player.
Goodness me. Okay. Finally done and dusted. Twisted Minds, though, down to 1. Balls out. Regnum Kaya just sailing in. It seems that they're not done quite yet, Sean, which I find surprising. I feel like for Regnum Kaya, at some point, you just kind of want to be like, let's save some of our energy for the grand finals. But no, they are looking to get as much experience as they can in these games. I think that they easily have the highest survival time out of any squad inside of this lobby, which means the highest amount of practice out of any squad inside of this lobby so far. Influence Rage
and
on a very... Go on.
I was going to say, and they'd be playing through the whole gauntlet as well, so even more under the belt, and against some of the teams that, if you haven't played in that gauntlet, you won't have faced up against.
Yeah, no, and again, it's nice to see, especially getting as much experience versus DRX as well as the Flash potentially. It is something good. And like you say, also for last chance, like depending on which teams make it through there, you also have experience against them as well. And it's so many more hours of footage to go over before you go towards the grand finals. I think that's something that is like underestimated quite a few times for teams, is the amount of footage that you get from playing out these matches. For some of these teams, they're getting less than an hour's footage sometimes after day 2, just because of the amount of time they spend dead. So I think for Regnum Kai, this is really good, because you do have quite a bit of time now to really go back over the VODs before you head over towards those grand finals.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting yourself that research time, that research period, very important. But for a lot of our teams, it's all about just getting there in the first place. I feel like, I mean, Influence Rage, we're on board with them right now. This was a team who was back and forth, in and out of those top spots, and now they're very much at the back of the queue for it, with Alliance almost in a position to overtake them as well. They are the team that is the furthest behind of the chasers, but if you can take down Weibo on the approach, that is great news for Influence Rage. Nuclear Zone as well, looking to find a spot as Krona. No, not going to be able to do so. Hero spots him up the top there, wonders what he's doing, but actually the rest of the team are here for a little bit of retribution. Hero borne down upon him. Yeah, he's not getting away with that one. You can crawl upstairs all you like, mate. Your health bar's nearly zero.
These nades are kind of going off target slightly. But Influence Rage is trying to live onwards. Again, it's just a kind of a difficult area of the map to play, in my opinion, John, which is why they are quite split. We have seen some big wins from that location, but at the moment with it heading down towards the south side, really uncomfortable area of the map to work with. But Alliance are in this end zone. They're looking to push that momentum even further.
Keep on going, keep that momentum going for Malaysia on that south side. Keep it under control, but as you said before, it's those late games that seemingly Alliance sometimes struggle with. And this seems like a bit of a late game position to be taking up, right? All the way on that south side, playing inside the compound. If the circle keeps them in, it's very likely they're just going to have to try and get all the value from the late game. And it's more often than not that we see them get the lion's share of their points from those mid-game elimination counts, from those scraps that we've seen them in before. Relying a little bit more on their gunfighting. Let's see what they can do. The Burmese ghouls in the meantime, they've lost Unknown. Well, that nade looks like it's on target in Nuclear Zone. A tasty morsel for the ghouls to feast on.
Yeah, it's a good wrap from Burmese ghouls, honestly, depending on where they were coming in from. So I think it's good that they get down towards this location, and they are cleaning house right now in Nuclear Zone. And there will be a clean sweep. Sadly, there is some shots going their way, but I do think that this is a resable location for them. Just have to be slightly worried about Alliance taking some pot shots towards them, and the vehicles exploding too. You can see Olio getting some hits in there. Godspeed doing his best to create a blanket of smoke for Yatka to lay across.
Trying to create that comfort for him. Burt's Pro as well, moving through against True Rippers. They've lost Voston, but they managed to find 2 in response. Aragon answered on towards, and this fight has been a little bit back and forth. The circle pops down south. This does help out True Rippers, but with only 2 players, they do need to control Virtus Pro. Jelly's going straight in. He's going in for the fight, but Blank, he's immediately torn to pieces, and now it's just left to Harsh, and Virtus Pro likely to be able to get this reset.
I mean, Virtus Pro will be able to get the reset easily off the back of this. I think this is a very, very resable location for them. Harsh just has to send forward from True Rippers to get towards the center of the zone alongside with Lord, the one and only, the 1v3 master on that side. Influence Rage, I think, are quite unhappy with how this one's set up. I think they set themselves up nicely over towards Airstrip. Sadly, the circle does move away from them. Now they have pretty difficult ground to traverse ahead of them. I think DRX is just looking to strike out at any moment and pick up a lot of elims from the stragglers in the zone. Regnum Kai here, this is a very aggressive approach they have to take this circle. They're going to have to sort of battering ram their way in.
Kaya getting battered by the vehicle approach there on the swing around. I'm not sure. Wait, that's just a ghost vehicle driving on its own all the way on out. I'm not too sure what happened to Regnum Kaya, but they get run through, and DRX all the more happy to take those points, adding 2 to their tally. Regnum Kaya with 3 points this match, though. They're on 141. Blank, again, they've kind of done enough, and sure, they still got Wild going. Maybe you can get an extra point or 2, but once more, they'll just look for what they can find. In the meantime, True Rippers are going to be eliminated. Their last player eliminated there. Twisted Minds can sit in 11th place for at least 1 match longer.
Yeah, they're right on the edge. They are right on the edge. Virtus Pro definitely wanted to catch up, though, on this southeast side. Alliance, again, they're very good when it comes to the opportunity plays towards the mid game, and these shots are good from Jimmy. It's just so I don't know what happens, or the pressure gets them in that end game, but that has to change. But if that does improve, oh my god, we've got a team on our hands.
And we will see if they can make that ascent, but there's not too many more matches to do it. Alliance do have a crash on their hands as Influence Rage making their approach and doing so very effectively. They lose Diego, but the majority of Alliance are taken down very, very quickly here. A really bold approach coming through to this fight, and only Jimmy now stands. Influence Rage giving them the run around. They will not be able to hold this compound on the south side uncontested. That's for certain. They're going to have to disengage. Meanwhile, over on the northern side, this is Team Flash and DRX crashing as well. And DRX finding ETSH as well. It's Flash off in the distance. A lot of similar nameplate colors, but ETSH go down. DRX adding the points to the tally, which is not good news for Team Flash, for teams around them as well, all competing still for that 3rd place.
Yeah, well, I think for Team Flash, yeah, losing players like that is awkward. For DRX, though, what a good game for them to really put themselves further up the leaderboard. If they're able to get a chicken dinner here, yeah, they're done. They're finished, right? They're into top 3. It's unlikely they'll leave. Virtus Pro, they need a really big run here if they want to make it out from that bottom 5. And they are setting themselves up for success. I just talked about how good Alliance could be, but it really does feel like that 4v4 is just not there for this squad, which is so surprising because everything else about their gameplay feels really strong. I think it's a very similar situation to what we see from OG, honestly. It's just that this 4v4 isn't quite as good. I would even say that OG had a slightly better 4v4 than Alliance. But yeah, I don't really know what's happening here for this squad, but that has to change in the future.
Players still alive though for Alliance. They got fun this match, solidifying themselves. Remember that 98-point 3-way tiebreaker bubble on 11th place. They're getting pretty close to that now. With still 3 more matches to play after this, including another Erangel. It should be okay. So Influence Rage, but Influence Rage wanted to jump up a lot further. E-Arena, I mean, a lot of these teams in that 3rd place competition have had a tough game here. E-Arena will be going down here as well. Arcred, Weibo, E-Arena, all out and eliminated. The fact that Team Flash are still alive is massive for them. And they're alive as 2 in a not terrible position. If Influence Rage lose a player here, all of a sudden their southwest spot is looking pretty great for a top 4.
Yeah, I think so. I think Influence Rage looking just to clear out the rest of Alliance and then potentially push over towards the roadside. The roadside is going to be the most difficult spot. Max brings up a really great point as well, is that the hovercraft here that DRX, I think they have on board, is going to be huge in this zone because it is quite open, and having that massive bit of cover, which is essentially a wall towards the end game, is really useful. Not only that, it's a wall that you can maneuver. So I think for DRX, like we say, if they're able to close out this game, that's their run done, and they're in the top 3. For Virtus Pro, it's all the more scary for them because they are in the bottom 5. They're at risk of going out. So although for DRX it would be lovely to finish off the day right now, for VP it means all that more for them.
Influence Rage, find another law, goes for the spray and immediately goes to flush. They clean it out and they don't take too much damage. So can they transition now for Influence Rage over towards the center side of this circle, because they've got the 2 players in the way from Team Flash, and DRX covering the run out. Finding the shots over to DRX would be huge, but Lorison doesn't quite connect fully on the spray down there against QXZ. The vehicles might be going up in smoke, and DRX maybe overexerting themselves over on that northern side. They'll have to bide their time for a little bit longer. Aragon gets delivered. A little drop, but I don't think he's going to be able to stretch his legs far enough to be able to go for it. I mean, he's already got the ghillie suit. What more could you ask for?
In this kind of zone, it is a really big blessing. Groza up in front inside that loot crate, which will be nice for an endgame. Honestly, extremely potent weapon. I imagine he'd immediately switch it. Or not. I think he's, yeah, maybe he's just happy to have the 3x on the M4 for the long range. I guess with the shotgun as well, you sort of do want to hold on to that because the Groza does kick a lot. It might be something, especially with this circuit, it might be something he switches towards later on when players get closer to him. How does Influence Rage do this? This is a really tough approach.
There's really not too many options. They need those smokes pretty desperately to cover their approach. But DRX, I mean, they know that this is dangerous for them. And they're all too willing to take those points, right? Jump up over that 130-point boundary, up towards the 140s, get themselves a lot safer. There's still potential for them to take that top spot away from Regnum Kaya, even if Regnum Kaya super unlikely to be going down below third place. First place bragging rights, you know, it is good to see. And Influence Rage really under pressure now. The zone's starting to move away from them, all the way on the out. And TRX, the only 4-player squad. They made the transition over to the water tower, but actually it's going to go undamaged for the time being, but they still have to go further. And the blue zone's not going to stop.
No, it won't. I think for Influence Rage, they're just kind of relying on other teams taking shots towards one another, but these are some slick shots from So Easy. Really accurate too. Lord is trying to get a little bit of an investment off the back of that. Flash wins actually taking a lot of those elims away. And as a two-man, if they can get up towards the top 3, John, it is very, very good for the top 3.
And getting those points as well, that's really huge stuff. A three-way 108-point tie right now sits in 4th, 5th, and 6th. And they are on, what, 111 and then a couple more, so 113 right now. 5 points ahead, that's not comfortable, but the placement points that they're going to earn here is good news. They've already got at least 5 the nades from Virtus Pro. They look pretty good, but they're not quite getting the job done entirely. Still not quite connecting. That one will find the knock on towards win. Aragon still has another, and the answering nades are not quite there. Virtus Pro removing Team Flash from proceedings. DRX getting involved. The spray down towards Aragon, but finally the flushes come through. They lock down in towards a 5 elim 3rd place, so a good result, but they're not out of the woods just yet. In the meantime, though, DRX, they're looking to control Virtus Pro, shut this whole thing down here, right now. They want that top spot back. Regnum Kaya have challenges, but our top 2, blank, they are pretty much guaranteed here. Regnum Kaya and DRX are going to be in Bangkok.
Yeah, it's a good finish there for Virtus Pro, but you are right. For DRX as well as Regnum Kaya, we secure our top 2 spots in Game 3, which is fairly insane, honestly. So very well played to them. And that's even after the fact that Hyunbin's got a bit of a headache going on right now. In fact, a fair few of them do. All got the cool and soothes on the head, and they certainly need that soothing prowess because it ended up in a very nice win. It was a soothing win. The leaderboards as well.
Oh, there you go. I mean, the top 3 is the 3rd place
3
spot
of them.
is still the 3rd place spot is still very much hotly contested right now. There's still the same 4 teams going for it. Influence Rage as well, jumping up a little bit closer. The 11th place all to play for the second half of the day. It's going to be exciting. Stay tuned.
And that 4th chicken dinner locks DRX in to the PMGC Grand Finals. We were worried there for a slight second, but this win here sealed the deal, Max.
Not a flashy game, just straightforward. They drop in their main drop location, Gatka Fields, quick rotation across. They even shut down their looting phase to try and get across very soon. They play landing strip very well, make sure no teams behind them, such as Regnum, E-Arena, Influence Rage, become an issue. And then they just start bullying this lobby into oblivion. Niptura, this push-up, while Flash are fighting VP. The timing is so good, they know they're in full control. This is the DRX we expected going into this, and now they're going full steam ahead.
They sure are looking over at the winning team stats here. Yeah, 8 eliminations coming on for them. So, you know, like you said, I think what you said is pretty accurate, right? That's not a flashy game, but it's just some good old pogey-mogy. It's just coming in here, doing the business, doing what they need to do, and securing that win. And I do want to say, Max, right, is we had all 3 teams that were in that top 3 desperately needed a good game in this game, right? DRX were in danger of slipping down. So were Flash. VP still trying to make it into the top 11, right? So all 3 of those teams came out swinging when they needed to.
Yeah, and not only that, also Lord, right, from Twisted Minds, able to kind of somewhat redeem this game for his team, able to get, I think, a total of almost 5 eliminations, not on his lonesome, but still able to get some really good fights, especially versus Boars in military base itself, as we have these quick little highlights of this match, and you know what? I'm going to give props to the team right now. Not that much bridge camping, except for that one. Maybe that, and that one. Not as much as you would. To the team right now. Not that
Little bit more like the VP we're used to seeing. I just would like to see them do a little bit more with the rotations that they have, right? I feel like they always play catch up in these circles rather than waiting for teams to come to them and having that layer of control. I really do wish they would actually just be a little bit more proactive, but they redeemed themselves in that final game, or in the final stages of that game. 14 points for VP is huge, but it is going to be DRX who takes the chicken dinner and the most points as well with 18, Max.
Ooh, now, okay, so we had Regnum popping off, Hot Jukes. Yes. DRX 18-point game. You know where I'm going
Locked
with this.
in.
Flash 10-point game. Is the top 3 going to even move today? Because as of right now, it's not budging by 2. Well, it hasn't budged that up, actually. So, what are the middle pack teams doing? Come on, take them down. Hot drops.
Make
it's
it
a bit
happen.
risky, but
You know,
could be cool.
This game was the game of just like keeping yourself alive, in my opinion, right? You got Flash putting up 10 points that kept them in the game here. You got Virtus Pro putting up some serious points that keeps them in the game. It's still not over yet, right? We still got a few matches left here to go, but I mean, man, it's so good to see DRX say, you know what? And it's so funny, they did this yesterday, right? Where we're kind of like worried, we're like, oh man, you know what's going on with this team? And then they shut us up. They do the same thing today. Lock it in. They've made it.
Hyunbin! Sorry, I got excited. Sorry, he's my guy. I had to support my boy. Hyunbin, MVP, QXZ, I think, stole it at one point yesterday, so I'm very happy to see Hyunbin up there again. The one of the new gens of top-tier global players, not just from South Korea, but globally speaking. So good to see him get 4 eliminations on board here in Iptura, and this guy, I'm telling you, I said it multiple times, and I'm going to repeat myself because I'm a bloody broken record. He will be global MVP one day, as the leaderboards here, DRX are standing strong in 2nd place. 1 point behind Regnum. Oh my god.
Wow.
Wow.
With 4 chickens, Neptura. With 4 chickens and they're in 2nd place. That's crazy.
4. That is insane. I love to see that from him. GG. And it just makes for a very, very spicy next couple of games coming in here, because those two will probably be battling it out.
Oh man, there's gonna be an absolute war coming up, guys. We still got 3 more matches left to go. Get your drinks, get all nice set up and cozy, because we got some serious action coming up right after this short break.
olabilirim galiba. Tamam, aleykümselam anneciğim, hadi görüşürüz.
Hadi görüşürüz, öptüm, bay bay.
We're at the halfway mark of the final day from Group Red, and I'm standing next to none other than the IGL for Influence Rage, currently sitting in 7th place with 101 points. We did notice you make a bit of a roster change today. How is that roster working out with Federal sitting out?
Vocês fizeram uma mudançazinha na line, né, trocando Federal. Como é que vocês estão se sentindo assim com essa line nova?
A gente se sente bem confortável porque a gente jogou muito tempo com essa line, com o Lohan, praticamente mais de um ano. Então, praticamente o sentimento é o mesmo, a mesma função também deles. Então a gente tá bem tranquilo.
So yeah, we have the same feeling because we've been playing with Lohan for more than 1 year. So we are very familiarized with the team, with the roster. So yeah, we are pretty comfortable.
Okay, you're currently 17 points away from 3rd place and a healthy amount to 11th place, meaning that you are able to take risk. What is the team going to be doing in the next 3 matches to make sure you secure a top 3 finish?
Então, vocês estão a 17 pontos ali do top 3 e estão com uma distância bastante grande ali do 11º. Então, vocês podem tomar um pouco mais de risco, né? Então, como é que vai ser o approach de vocês nesses próximos jogos?
Acredito que a gente vai fazer nosso jogo, ver o que a gente combinou, o que vai dar certo. E é isso, acho que é só jogar nosso jogo mesmo que a gente vai conseguir essa vaga.
We're just gonna play in our playstyle, so we're gonna maintain our stuff. And yeah, we are pretty confident.
With that said, I mean, going especially into the last 2 matches in Miramar, when teams realized that they have nothing to lose, which team do you think might try to target you in those last 2 matches?
Então, nessas últimas 2 partidas de Miramar, vai ter muito time aí que vai vir pro tudo ou nada. Você acha que algum time específico pode querer focar vocês, alguma coisa assim?
Eu não consigo prever nada agora, mas a gente vai estar preparado. A gente está trabalhando para isso e se vier, a gente vai estar preparado.
So yeah, I'm not really thinking about like a certain team, but anyone who wants to fight us, they can try to get us.
All right, well, I know the guns are going to be ready for y'all, so hopefully you will be ready. The other teams will be ready because it is the final 3 matches of Group Red. Let's see if Influence Rage got what it takes to get a direct ticket to the Grand Finals.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see here. I got to be honest, I don't like those answers at all, man, because if you're going to play your regular game, that you're putting yourself such at risk when it comes at least to top 3 here, because let's be real, Flash win 1 game, it's over. It's a wrap at this point. So if you are Influence Rage, I love the fact that, hey, you bring Lawrence in back in the fray. That's a huge roster swap at such a pivotal time here, Max. And in that last game, he ends up outperforming them all when it comes to eliminations. But you know what? He got all those eliminations on the Infinix GT30 series, the official gaming phone of PMGC 2025. Engineered for precision, performance, and victory, empowering every gamer to hashtag be the one and hashtag outplay the rest on the global stage. Can Influence Rage do it? Can so many other squads do it? It comes down to this Aaron Gale and one because the last one is cursed.
What are you talking about? This beautiful Infinix device. So sorry, I was just in absolute awe, just having a great ice cream right there. But it was a fun one for Influence Rage, seeing how they were doing it. But I am wondering, you know, for Influence Rage, are they going to really keep playing their own game? Because if Rhythm Car and DRX told me that, you know, before going into this, I'd be like, yeah, you know, that's fine, keep playing your game. Influence Rage, I'm like, if you're playing your own game that didn't work out, maybe we need a little bit of a change up. Just like Virtus Pro, that definitely changed it up on Rondo. That was a weird one.
Yes. I still don't know how to be honest, but we're moving on. We're moving on. I could see, I like that we've got some confidence coming in from Influence, right? They're not going, oh, we're going to change some things. They're like, no, we're good. We're just going to keep playing our game. We're doing it right. And, you know, they've only got 17 points to actually tie up with Flash. So, a really good game here. Even if they need to have a pretty good game, they're going to jump up those leaderboards very, very quickly. So I can understand their confidence coming into, you know, such a good position like that. They're still very close, but I do need to see a little bit more than what they've given so far today, at least, Max, before I go, yeah, they're definitely top 3 material.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand your reasoning behind that. It does make a lot of sense. You can see the hype and excitement between these players and able to actually get a win. Or that Regnum one, he's trying to desperately change seats in the car so he wouldn't get knocked down. But unfortunately, there's only so far that can really take you in these matches, and he was taken down eventually. But man, that push onto ETSH from DRX was just so clean, so instantaneous, and especially not giving a lot of gaps, Sniptra, for players to get knocked and flushed. They were so closely packed that ETSH, even if they do find knocks, which they did, you just can't really capitalize on it. So DRX, these engagements, when they're fully committed, man, oh man, are they scary.
Yeah, it is indeed. But hang on a second. We still got coming on in with 18 throwables used, so using a lot of utility for EA. And you can see Law there as well with 14 as well. So a lot of utility through here. And that's really the kind of thing you want to be seeing when you have a zone like that, right? So flat, so gotta use those utilities as best you can. I mean, I think we've been harping on about VP for a long time here, Max, just because VP we're used to seeing, but I will give them, they played that end game pretty darn well. They saw a little bit of a ridge in the middle of the circle and they took it. They were able to defend it there, and just are able to sweep on through the north side. Just didn't really do much else, especially as a duo. But honestly, this is exactly what they needed. Hopefully next game it can be a little bit more than that.
It was a bit messy over to the side, actually, for VP versus, I believe it was True Rippers. That fight, they were clearly pro engagement, but once they go for the res, they back up as a 3-man lose 1, but they were still having 3 players alive at that point. They really are pushing away. I think it was Team Flash in particular, tried to take some of that real estate on the high ground away from them, but no, they instantly shut that down, said like, no, this is our high ground position. They kind of chased them away with the cars, which I really appreciated from VP. The respect in that Erangel lobby, and that was enough for themselves. A decent finish, not quite the win, but you know what, still some points on board. And when you are so close here, Hot Jukes, from the bottom 5, those points could be so important, but they still are in the bottom 5. I'm gonna say it, VP, I need a win for you to show me that you have potential to do well in the last chance.
This is the last Erangel of the day. Honestly, if you're gonna get it, you need it right here. But that's the thing, is that the later we get on into this day, the harder it gets to get that win, because there are so many teams desperate for it, right? I mean, even Alliance, 92 points, a win in this one could put them in that chance for top 3. If they don't get it, it's over, right? So there's so many squads desperate at this point. It makes things harder. That's why I was talking about that last game curse. It's going to be crazy to see coming up. But, you know, Influence Rage had a nice push onto Alliance in that last game, Neptura, right? They were able to take them all out. If Influence Rage wants to make it a top 3, they need to do the same thing, but to Flash, right?
Yes, 100%. They need to do it exactly to Flash. And the other teams that I'm looking at for this next game in particular, Jukes, is going to be Arcred, Weibo, and EA, because they're all tied right now. 4 through 6 will have 108 points currently, 10 points away from Flash. So any one of those teams have a really good game here, and we could see a new top 3.
Totally possible. Totally possible. Well, last Erangel of the group stage, folks. It's all up to Flash. If they win this game, that could punch their ticket. Let's see what happens here for match number 4.
It is getting really close for those teams on that 3rd spot that is still up for grabs on these tables. Blank, as Duke said, it is maybe Team Flash's time to punch a ticket, but even with a chicken dinner, if they have a poor Miramar set after that, teams behind can still catch them.
It's very much a possibility, John. Very much a possibility. I think that it is slowly and surely becoming more and more concrete towards the top of the tables. A few, I wouldn't even say a few, I'd say right now is where you need to make that breakout performance, right? And to do it on this playing path is so unfun. It's a really awkward start for a lot of our teams, a lot of our squads, a lot of squads forced to head down towards Sosnovka. We know there are a couple of squads that don't really like going down here in the first place, but Burmese Ghouls get a good start off the back of this one. Geek is going to play a Novo and then rotate back over on that eastern bridge. But yeah, this really does cut a lot of teams close together.
It's going to force a lot of potential hot drops on these vehicles. On this south side, I'm seeing Influence Rage and E-Arena, both out near Primorsk. I mean, we've seen E-Arena. Oh, my goodness me. Blank. Whatever I was talking about doesn't matter, because we got another back-to-back military circle in the PMGC. What is it with these lobbies? This is absolutely crazy that we've seen this not only, it was the other group as well, wasn't it? It was in Group Green that this happened. And now it's happening in Group Red. The teams are having a nightmare. And it's a Southside Circle. And Blank, the Ghouls are on the island.
It is actually ridiculous. And it is a Ghoul Circle. For real this time. It actually is. They got to drop here. This is their time to rise. Rise up, my Ghouls. And win this game, potentially.
I'm casting with Song Jin Woo here, bro. It's absolutely crazy. He is having a crazy time. And I mean, right now, the Ghouls should be popping off. The boars are moving fast. The teams over on the mainland going to look to transition as well. Are we going to see that same roadblock on the east, or a team's going to change it up? Because, of course, the plane path was a lot more north-facing on our last Sosnovka military circle. That started out very far on the north plane path, so not quite as far for teams to rotate.
This time they're very, very close to the circle. For Regnum Kaya, in fact, they're slightly pipped to the post there by Alliance on the south side, so they're getting there a little bit sooner than them. For Boars, they got to cross very cleanly and quickly. Twisted Minds, on the other hand, weren't there in time. But the Burmese ghouls do control the entirety of military base. Very pleased with this one. Looks like the Boars are going to try and set up a little bit of a roadblock there over on the western bridge for any teams trying to get through. So that does include Influence Rage, who are chasing 118 points right now with that game from early from Arcred that placed them just 10 points behind. Same with Weibo, same with Arena, who got a 3-way tie here on the leaderboards.
Yeah, it's not pleasant. An Influence Rage, only 7 points behind that, and only 10 points ahead for third place. I say only. That is still quite a margin. But as the desk was saying, it might be an opportunity to jump up and challenge on that spot. With an only 10-point difference, that is very much a chicken dinner away for any of those teams. And it is not comfortable at all. It is really back and forth. And this is the sort of circle that you hate to see, right, when you're in this scenario, because all of them got caught in the traffic jam before. Every single one of those teams got caught in the traffic jam on the east side bridge that were all chasing for that third place. So not much movement. Max wanted to see movement. Maybe he's not going to see any more here either if they all get stuck in again.
It's so tough. I mean, having this be your last Erangel of the day too. Oh my goodness me. The shots out from the back of the glider towards Milky Way. Inside the hovercraft is going to put a bit of a dent in the time of this. Good shots from Aragon from VP will take down Corona at least. Oh, and the hovercraft has exploded. That's a big deal. That's a very big deal.
That was the major transitional vehicle for Virtus Pro, and not being able to have that under control. I mean, you're right. It is a big, big deal, right? Because otherwise they would have been able to wrap around to the south, try and move their way up, but they don't have that tool anymore, so they've got to figure something else out.
That's actually one of the cooler plays today, is taking that glider and just being a nuisance over towards the hovercraft. I mean, denying that really does cause problems now for Nuclear Zone, for Virtus Pro, sorry. It almost feels cruel from Nuclear Zone, honestly, because they've still got to get their way into the circle now. And posting up those Nova up Noise is not going to be easy with Geek being there.
That's real aerial combat coming on through. 2 gliders, in fact, in convoy. Oh, a little bit of a replay. Okay. So Voston spotted this on the takeoff and did get a knock. Well, they lost their player, but they're still not going to be dissuaded. They were going to be 3 gliders going across. Regnum Kaya going across the battlefield right now. They lose Loxy, however, against Twisted Minds. They trade 1 for 1. Lord is out of the mix. Sorry, it's 2 for 1, as Regnum Kaya wanted to keep that top spot still under control. They held this compound before. They couldn't do it in the last match. This time around, maybe they'll be able to find it. If this fight continues, Blank, Influence Rage could use this opportunity to come across the third party. So could the Burmese Ghouls, and they do just that. They give the assist to Regnum Kaya, and Twisted Minds fall 11th place. Tenuous.
Bit of a grudge there, it seemed, between Regnum Kaya and Twisted Minds. Take them down fairly quickly, though. Good push in. And a clean sweep from Regnum Kaya, which is great to see. They're still not done, which is hilarious to me. The fact that Regnum Kaya consistently are putting up these points here is fantastic news. True Ripper's making a slow approach right now, John. Nice and quiet, but do get themselves into a good position. That eastern bridge is completely clear at the moment.
I think everybody tried to learn their lesson at the same time, which is unfortunate because there's a lot bigger of a traffic jam on the west side now for Influence Rage, for Arc Red. They're all now kind of stuck into it. Regnum Kaya not extending back on over. They don't have 4 players this time, Blank, which was a major factor in their ability to hold this bridge previously on a similar situation. And that could severely diminish the power of their position. With Influence Rage now holding the stop, though, it may be a 2-team hold, unless Influence Rage want to go for the crash. Arc Red, they're marauding around on the north side of the shoreline, with ETSH kind of stopping them for now, getting closer towards this bridge.
Arc Red do take some shots for themselves, but yeah, again, everyone keeps going to the western bridge. No one's really challenging out for the Eastern Bridge, despite no one being there. Everyone's taking these weird approaches to get out of dodge. I mean, Virtus Pro tried to take a hovercraft. There was multiple gliders in pursuit. But no one's really like, hey, why don't we just drive? That'd be good, right?
Everyone's playing wacky races right now to get across the Sosnovka, and most of our teams have actually been able to do it. Twisted Minds technically did also do it, but they are now down. Not going to be able to play on in this match. We're still waiting for Virtus Pro to leave that Milta power area. Team Flash are trying to cross with Geeke maybe establishing over on the observatory tower. And this scrap between ETSH and Arcred will continue to unfold and maybe looking to lay down some shots. We're kind of going back over to the west side, and maybe Arcred can stop for a little bit longer and take the rest of ETSH down, although the ground around that west bridge is going to start to get full.
Easy Bad Boy does get taken out there from ETSH, some of the final players on this side who are getting a little bit of revenge here over towards Arcred jump.
Ooh.
It is so hectic. I just, like you said, cannot believe we're getting another double Sosnovka here at PMGC. It's so cruel. It's so mean, especially on the final day as well, John. It feels scripted.
It does seem to be that these circles just love causing problems right now. Arcred, I mean, they do have 2 knocks, but we saw that player moving on through. They're looking to try and get those reses. Baby being distracted by Hardboy, who is stepping inside the container to dodge that nade. The reses can come through. Hardboy should be on a stall game right now, and it seems like that's what's happening. If he goes down, Baby will get that flush. And for Arcred, they do need all 4 players alive to look to transition across to that island with a hope of success here. So for Hardboy, I like this stall tactic.
Try to deal with them as long as possible. If they get up Ramses, you know, it's a full reset for them, which is great news. But doesn't have to push, like you say, Baby, too hard on this one. Sadly, with the circle shifting so far off towards the northwest, it's just going to keep this in play for a long, long time. In which case, Arcred sort of has to play and remain on this northwest side. Great nade from Bad Boy. Took a while to get there, but finally makes it happen. In the meantime, Flash is taking on Geeke. Arcred not far behind, though, with 4 elims already accrued during this match. They are battling this one out. Weibo and E-Arena still out in the blue, by the way. Taking a while for them to get into the picture, and with E-Arena starting over towards North Georgia Pond, Weibo far up towards the north side of the map. These are 2 circles that are very difficult, though. We know for Weibo what they're very good at doing is pretending to be a cardboard box and somehow making it towards the center of the circle.
Snake? Snake? Seeming to try and get into the middle of the circle. It's effective, you know, just don't want to see any of those exclamation marks coming on through. Kaya. I mean, losing that player Loxy earlier on, it's stopped them holding the bridge like they did before, but do they want to establish, I mean, it looks like they do, want to establish on this bridge. With the circle as it is, the mainland's a little bit. Could it go back to the mainland? I don't think so. But that, I think that would be the craziest, right? It could go bridge.
Yeah, it could go bridge. I think going bridge is probably the more likely thing here. Which would be gross and disgusting, but it would require another hard northwest shift, at the second one in the row, which is still quite unlikely. And instead does send them back up towards that south side. So that's going to take a little bit more time for Arcred. Then again, it does keep the bridge in, so they can continue to hold here, which is bad news for E-Arena. I think E-Arena would have much rather this moved away over towards the eastern side. Instead, because it holds in, they know they've got a fight coming.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough time moving into this northern side. It is a little bit close to that bridge. Easy for Bad Boy. Ooh, takes a lot of damage, but I mean, he's got the bandages. Should be able to heal that one up. E-Arena stood behind them. Arcred and E-Arena, again, 2 of those teams chasing right now for that 3rd place. With Team Flash already across, they're going to challenge out against Geeke. They managed to get the run through straight away out and into the points as well. They're up to 3 now, Blank. They lost Zeus earlier on. And on the shack on the northern side, I mean, they might just be able to hold this one out, but their power to impact this circle is going to be severely diminished by playing this area. They want to scout further. You can see them moving players out wide to get a little bit closer to it, but that is really, really tricky stuff.
Yeah, very much so. You're always gonna have difficulty on this kind of circle, on this kind of position. It's never fun, and it's never confirmed either, John, on this sort of circle. You really do have difficulties putting up those consistent points. I think all the more reason to be so impressed by these squads towards the top side of the lobby throughout some very weird zones, some very weird gameplay going through from all our squads. To be able to be here in that top 6, that's a difficult task to make work.
Very, very tricky stuff. I mean, these top 6, I mean, the top 7 really. Third down to 7 really is that bracket that we're looking at to push on in. Right now, 2 of them are trapped out in the blue zone. E-Arena on a wide wraparound, moving over to the East Bridge. They couldn't get through Arc Red, or rather didn't want to try. And they will get through uncontested. They want to play edge on this circle, Blank. They'd absolutely love to be there in the edge position, but so far, they haven't even gotten close to it. They do need to go a little bit further. You can see the bridge off in the distance there. Well, they need to make it past, because Weibo have a similar idea. Go out to the Eastern Bridge. And now Arc Red, they're bridge guarding nobody. But maybe they're being stopped from crossing, because Rectum Kyra are on the hold once more.
For Arc Red, that was their choice, right? They had to hold that. I think it was the right decision to go for. For E-Arena, I'm glad that they didn't even attempt it. Weibo already got across on the Eastern Bridge, and that's, again, good planning from Weibo in terms of understanding that this eastern side has been clear for so long, for so many games. But for E-Arena, it's slightly more dangerous because we're getting to stage 4 now. Shifts all the way over towards the west again, keeping Regnum Karya in and forcing Arc Red now to move. I think that with the limited time that E-Arena had and Weibo had, they made the right choice. You know, there was no point even trying to sniff out the danger over towards Lighthouse. It was just the decision had to be made there and then of, we've got to go east.
Yeah, it's just a do or die kind of situation, and you've got to make that tough sort of call if you go for it. Arc Red going to try and make their crossing against Rectum Kaya on the 3-player hold. Zedwolf up top, Wild down low, Silas off in the sidelines in their compound. And Arc Red, I mean, they should be wary, right, of this position. They've seen this circle. They're going to know that there is going to be presence felt here. I wouldn't be too surprised to see them try and drop down on this one, although Silas is on the hunt for that. That's why he stayed out wide. He'll be feeding that information back over. And Zedwolf may start to feel uncomfortable on this high ground. Will be spottable by potentially DRX if they get close enough, and he's completely open, pretty unresable if he gets knocked.
Flash close to Weibo, who again have pulled the old cardboard trick, and they are towards the center of the circle somehow, some way. Yet it has worked. Like you say, for Zedwolf, if he gets knocked, it's completely unresable, but this is a sort of position that does give him a lot of oversight and preemptive warning over towards the rest of his squad.
Arc Red moving beneath him. He should be aware of this. He'll hear the vehicles. Wild as well. Arc Red being very, very slow, very cautious, leaving easy for Bad Boy on the backlines as well to try and challenge. I wouldn't be too surprised if he's been climbing the scaffolding in the meantime as well to try and get an angle. Silas will be feeding back exactly what's going on. Wild as well. Zedwolf on the swivel. No, he's okay. So he is down towards those walkways. So not playing up and on high. In the meantime, Virtus Pro and E-Arena clashing. Again, E-Arena still on the chase, but having a tough time of things on this south side, Blank. They managed to sneak their way all the way down there and losing players. The nades start to come through from Wild as we hop back over towards the bridge. And the crossing for Arc Red being held out still. But they're in the zone and they don't need to move too much further. He is spotted on a drop down, and that's Zedwolf finding Ramses, and another Hardboy goes down too. E-Arena is starting to fall. Blank, these chasing teams are being punished.
It's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate, and it's just the way this circle works. For E-Arena, though, I think they took the most dangerous path into the circle. I think it was very unwise, and I think it just shows that Weibo does a lot more homework here in terms of their initial rotations. I think some of their other parts of gameplay is slightly lacking right now, or is a little bit messy. I'd say it's more clumsy than lacking. But But when it comes to these rotations and understanding the lobby and the rotates, they are second to none here.
Yeah, it's nice to see that people are keeping their wits about them. On that front, Arcred. They're turning this fight around against Rectum Kaya, who now only have one player alive. Oh, last player from True Rippers goes down over towards the Millie base exit, as the circle will close fairly soon. Wild getting knocked over on that north side. I mean, the transition for Arcred onto the mainland. Well, I say the mainland, the now mainland onto Sosnovka. That's gone very well for them, and I think it's mostly to do with the fact that Rectum Kaya were only playing as 3 and maybe holding a little bit too much ground. And Weibo now in with a massive opportunity up on the high ground to the east side. And they have so much ground under control, Blank. The chase for them, definitely possible here, but Team Flash are sequestered down to the south side, and they're going to make it hard to get rid of them. Clinging on like limpets.
It's a really big chance here for Weibo. Arcred Glory has been a really big member for the team on that side. He has had such a strong performance for the squad, some really good off angles, and I think it's those like little moments where his plays were necessary to keep the squad up and kicking that makes me think that this guy deserves all the praise on the team. DRX sweep over towards the north now, look over towards Arcred, who have lost Ramsey, so they're 3-man. Potentially DRX could take advantage of that, but you're right, it is this fierce battle between the Flash and Weibo right now in this game.
In terms of those chasing spots, they seem to be the best positioned. Arcred still, though, we've seen that they can somehow move through dangerous terrain after that fight, and they are still knocking on the door of Team Flash's position. Arena cut down to 1. We saw them clash with Virtus Pro, winning the fight, sure, but with a little bit of help from the off angles. Nuclear Zone rocking up to the boars in the meantime as they try and move up to the top of the hill. And with just Tony K up the top there, this is a very viable approach coming on through. This spot in the next zone, up the top of that hill, should be fairly takeable, but it's Nuclear Zone, and they're playing as 3. Looks like they're a bit tentative, and maybe going to go for the boars instead, which could be the wrong decision. Oh, no.
Could be. I mean, for Boars, though, they are looking to chase on this one. 11th place is 74 points. They're on 72. They're looking to move up and out from that bottom 5. DRX with some great shots, not only over towards Arcred, but to Weibo as well, as Weibo drops down to just 2 players, John. What a disastrous result for them.
I mean, Arcred just seem to be able to get through these situations where it seems like they should be dead to rights, Blank. And again, they've moved in from that north side. With the Burmese Ghouls distraction on the eastern side, it's allowed Arcred to do a lot of damage to their position, to their hold, and Weibo are getting dismounted. Nuclear Zone really not able to do a lot against the boars here. They're just not going for it. They're not going for the fight. They're not taking these peaks, not taking these fights under control. And it is going down around them. Further up to the north, you've got Influence Rage as well, who sit in this compound out to this northwest side. And maybe they are going to be the team to be able to take this one down. But, oh, Blank, you've got DRX to deal with on the north, who are now in first place.
Yeah, they do accelerate ahead. And you're right, first place for them with the chicken dinners. They were able to get on board. Lovely stuff. Arcred able to find 33Z with a well-placed Molotov. It's Order up against Hardboy. Finally, he does come in clutch.
Able to find a player from Arcred that finally is going to bust them down to size. Humble them slightly, but Easy for Bad Boys still live and kicking, and they are really pushing on the Elim count now, Blank. If Team Flash don't survive for too much longer, if they keep being quiet as well, they're getting very, very close. Very, very close to things indeed. Oh, Easy for Bad Boy goes in, and he hops out to the side passenger seat, and again, the swivel round, the swift takedown, and Weibo not going to be able to chase. 9 eliminations found for Arcred, but they're not quite drawn level, and they will be drawn short. 4th place earned, but how far can Team Flash go? And beyond that, how far can Influence Rage find themselves?
For Team Flash, this is a big opportunity now. It's a huge opportunity. With 3 players alive, quite a few other members in the lobby still up. There's a huge amount of limbs in this lobby to gain. Sadly, there are sharks in the water with DRX who have gone from strength to strength, which is usually the South Korean way, it seems, right? Where they start off a little bit slow and then just get stronger as time goes on. So it's a team that they're just teams that are really, really, you want to keep them down early on and you want to get ahead early on before they start to power up, essentially.
Alliance trying to move past the Burmese ghouls, but they are getting shredded as they go. Just Jimmy remains, and from the long-range shot of who goes down himself almost immediately, is going to be a bit of a catastrophic turn for Alliance. They full force will go down. Burmese ghouls lose one on the approach. The south side fight is popping off in the picture-in-picture. Nuclear Zone, Boars, and Influence Rage all getting stuck in down there. The Burmese ghouls are balling up now, Blank, to try and arise to the top of this hill. Yatka leads the charge. Kaitse trying to control it, but can't quite have the effect that he's looking for. Ichi unknown, both needing to heal up a little bit. So distraction coming through, and the nade not on target for Hyunbin. The res is out, and DRX are back to 4.
Yeah, so easy back up again, which is very awkward. And being at the bottom of this hillside is very difficult for the Burmese ghouls. We'll see how they want to play this for now. The Flash really have had no impact on this game. They've been playing this from very, very slow. The Burmese ghouls, on the other hand, consistently trying to push in from this northeast edge. But as soon as DRX took this high ground, their lives became so difficult. It's a nice shot from Havlik at long range, but they're not giving up easily.
Been so low on this trade. 4 players still for DRX, and Yatka not in a position to refrag it. Unknown is down. The Burmese ghouls are waning. Like, this is a big game for Boars as well. They're in 12th place right now. Placements will see them over Twisted Minds, but it's about establishing those buffers going into our final 2 matches. From the south side, Boars are chasing. Influence Rage desperate to clamber their way up to challenge Team Flash, but in a 4th place now. With 4 elims, Team Flash are still just sailing away off over the horizon from our chasing teams.
It's just kind of crazy how good South Korea is. I think I was sort of on board with what the desk was saying, is that I'd be very disappointed not to see DRX go towards the grand finals, and it looks like they will be. What a performance from them over the last 2 days. Regnum Kaya looked insane, and then somehow DRX has just performed on every single map to a very high degree. I think that is the difference.
They are looking for DRX to move down south. Influence Rage playing up in the hills, but a Team Flash holding off against the Boars. 2 teams looking to try and keep things under lock and key, but it's the Boars who win it. Blank, this is big for the bottom bubble. The Boars looking to break through, to burst into the middle pack and stay alive. Team Flash will stop here, will stop now on that south side. I think they're going to lock in 126 points here, which puts them quite far ahead of 4th place. Arc Red do a lot this match, but it won't be enough to keep up. Influence Rage as well, looking to keep things going, but it's DRX who just will not stop on the transition down to the military island. With now 11 eliminations, Influence Rage look to open them up.
Sadly, Hyunbin will go down as the forward vanguard for the squad, and Influence Rage will waste no time in pushing over towards them. Diego up front, 2 players in the vehicle, trying to go for the drive-by, get a little bit of damage done. And Diego goes for something a little bit crazy, in my opinion. I think unnecessary would be the word I was looking for.
DRX now in a 3 versus 3. The knock onto Hyunbin, though, is Resable. If Sois can get that back, it's going to be nasty. But a nade lands on, nearly takes them down. Another one. No, it's going to fall short. Not going to go quite tag on. A DRX are allowed to get back up to 4, which is a huge pickup. Now the flex out for Lorazin needs to come in clutch, because they didn't quite have time for DRX to get there at the same amount of time. The stage not quite set either, because we're in stage 7. So another shift will come through. It could go west or east and favor one of our squads here, Blank.
So easy pays Hyunbin back the favor from picking him up earlier in this game. Lorazin, the sub-in for Federal, looking to prove his worth here on this match, our final match of Erangel in Group Red. But a 4v3, DRX looking to close Erangel's out strong.
4v3. I mean, they should have this one under control, but for Influence Rage, they've only got 4 elims right now, and with 3rd place on 127, they need 22 more points to catch up. They can get a maximum here of 14 from the placements and the 4 extra elims, so they could be on the doorstep, but not really within striking distance of taking that 3rd place just now. We've seen the Brazilians outlast a lot of teams in the past, but will they be able to do it against DRX?
Hyunbin? Okay, I like this a lot. The rapper. This is sort of the Diego play, but slightly more sneaky. And they can afford to send him up here too. If he gets an opener, the 3 players on top can just flow straight over like a crashing wave, take down Influence Rage.
Law on the top. I mean, he knows where these players are, but you just can't peek them yet. The player on the north, QXZ, actually pushing further out to try and get a sneaky little off angle. Hyunbin, I mean, he's not wanting to strike just yet. He is a dissuading factor, though. And QXZ is looking for Lil Boy here, but I think the terrain just about covers him off unless Lil Boy gets too close. Law allowed to fade back, but that should be spotted by QXZ. No, he's just staying down on the deck. Moving around, not quite in position yet. DRX working the ground.
I mean, Hyunbin bin down here gives them so much information because not only is this big off angle, they know that they're all on this side, and Hyunbin will strike now. And this is where the rest of DRX will just send straight over. Like I said, here comes the tsunami.
So it goes past the player down in the dirt. Lil Boy looking for the strafe underneath the vehicle, but just can't hit the shots that's needed. And DRX, they find that off angle. Sneaky little Hyunbin down the bottom there, able to find the first. And the crash comes on through. South Korea, back to back. First place is theirs. They don't need it, but they sure as hell want it.
It is crazy to me that all 3 players do have coolant suits on. But at the end of the day, these guys' heads are a little bit sore, sure, but they're causing a splitting headache for the rest of the squads inside this lobby. Influence Rage kind of confused by how all that went down, with Hyunbin just sidestepping nicely into position.
Brilliant stuff from DRX. They did so much work with that final circle. The nades weren't even really a factor. I was looking and seeing, oh, Influence Rage have 4, DRX have 2. Maybe, maybe not. But no, it's not going to matter. They don't need it. They just need Hyunbin and the rest of them to crash on through. It's DRX once more.
And DRX set the record for PMGC 2025 with the most chicken dinners in a single stage. 5 chickens so far, and once they got this zone, we knew these guys had it on lock. A good effort from Influence Rage, but this off angle from Hyunbin Max was just too good.
I contracted a very bad illness, Hot Jukes, and it's called the #1 Hyunbin fanboy. That is my predicament, and you know what? I am loving what we're seeing. It was a slow setup for sure, but it paid off significantly in those finishing moments. And then they're like, yeah, we opened up the floodgates. You start swarming over the ridge. We take control. We take the win. 5 chicken dinners in group red. Niptura, at this point, they're just flexing.
It is. They've taken a page out of Ragnar Karya's book and they've gone, yeah, we might as well just go for it and have fun and just do what we need to do. Flexing on the rest of the lobby is style. I mean, that is a lot of eliminations coming in here. Let me try again at this math thing. That's, what, okay, 15? I think that's right. 15 eliminations coming on in. That is a lot. It's a lot. That's my math. It is a lot of eliminations. Some really great stuff coming in here. And I love when we get a win that's based on control of the zone. They were able to come up over that hillside and then just sweep down onto Arcred, take out Weibo Gaming as well, and just move across that northern side. I love seeing those kinds of finishes, Max.
Yeah, it was so well played. But no, I was wondering, why was Sizzy always making this expression of like disgust on his picture? It's because this lobby's so bad and they're so good. It all makes sense now. He's just like, oh, man, group red, get me to the finals already. But no, QXZ also shredding it with those 7 eliminations, almost 900 damage in this game. And keep in mind, this is a team. People better not start saying in the chat, oh, DRX gifted circle. They drop Gatka field.
Yeah.
They don't complain. They make it work. And oh my goodness, those early transitions where they are fine surrendering their early looting stage. Niptra to just get priority on these positions is so well executed. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, same here. I really love what we're seeing from them time and time again. They're a relatively quiet team for the first half of the game, right? We don't see a lot from them in the first. They generally keep to themselves a little bit, just waiting, biding their time. And I think we saw a lot of that self-control coming in that last fight with Influence as well, right? They were just taking it very slow, very quiet, waiting for Hyunbin to get in position. Then once Hyunbin had that position, he was able to give over so much info, but they still just waited for the right time, which is really, really great to see.
Though, if we're talking about another team, Influence Rage right now, good finish, second place, love to see it. Hot Jukes, what was Diego up to?
Oh my gosh.
That solo drive-by and trying to actually go into the passenger seat of the buggy and sprint it down when you have 3 players at that point up and looking at you. Ballsy would not even begin to describe my feelings about that play.
Dude, as soon as I saw that, my head just